Okay, we are starting our conversation on relations, specifically domain and range. You have heard, I know, the word range before. What do you remember range means? Pablo? Yes, so one type of range is the biggest number minus the smallest number. This range doesn't mean that at all. So that's one of the things that frustrates me with math, so I'm sure it frustrates you guys, that we reuse the same word to mean totally different things. So when we're talking about domain and range function relations, that's not the range that you learned when you did mean, median, mode, and range. That range was just a set of numbers, highest number minus lowest number. So we're not talking about that here. So, domain, let's start with that and then we'll go to range. Domain, I'm sure you've heard the word before in the English language, but maybe you have or haven't heard it in math class. Anybody happen to know what domain is? No? That's okay. So let's actually rewind a little bit further. When you have a graph like you have on this paper here, do you remember how to talk about the points? So there's a point right here, -3, 1. Do you remember how to put that dot on this coordinate plane? Pablo, where do you go?
Move 3 spaces to the left and 1 space left.
Right. So this is called a coordinate plane, right? Do you remember that? So where you have the x and y axis and they meet, and what's that point called?
Origin.
The origin. Right. So this is old news, right? You guys have seen this before. So, and then right above this we have, these are called ordered pairs. So the first number is always your x coordinate, and then the second number is your y coordinate. So when you want to plot the point -3, 1, that means you go to, they're like number lines, right? This is a number line, and then you have a vertical number line too. So -3 on a number line would be back here, and then +1, we go up 1. If it had been a negative number, I would have gone down. So you always go left to right first, and then you go up or down. So everybody go ahead and put a dot where you think -2, 0 would be. So remember, the first number tells you left or right, and then the second number tells you up or down. Bless you. So hopefully everybody put a dot right there. You're just going to go left 2, and then I don't go up or down at all, because that second number was 0. So go ahead and try the other ones. 1, 2. Put a dot where you think that is. So hopefully you went to the right 1 and then up 2. Did you put it? And 3, -4. And one more at 5, 3. So hopefully you have what I have. Does everybody agree? Has anyone never plotted points on a coordinate plane before? Okay, good. So what we have here, we refer to as a relation. So it's basically a relationship between two sets of numbers, the domain and the range. Okay? So domain, guys, is just all of your x values. So let's go ahead and write that down. Domain, this is going to be a list of all x values. So if that's domain, what do you think the range is? You got it. Range is simply a list of all y values. So let's do an example right on here. I'm just gonna make up some points. Say I had the points 1, 3, -4, 0, 1, 7, and maybe 2, 3. If I had those 4 ordered pairs and I wanted to list the domain and range of each one, it's really just this easy. Check this out. Anytime you're going to make a list of numbers, does anybody know about using curly brackets? So you can actually see them on your paper. If you look at number 1, see how right before that there's this funny little curly bracket right before that first set of parentheses? See it right there? Do you see it? Here, let me help. See it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, I just made it worse. But anyway, so these funny curly brackets, you use those when you're listing answers. Okay? So, and they're not in any specific order. If I just say, hey, what toppings do you like on your pizza? Right? And you just list a bunch of toppings. They're not in any particular order. It's just a listing of, hey, here's some toppings that I like on pizza. So, same thing goes when you're listing domain and range. I'm just going to list all my answers, but I want to put them in that funny curly bracket. So, sometimes it takes a little practice to make them. I don't care how nice your curly bracket looks. You can't use a smooth parenthesis is my point. A smooth parenthesis is an ordered pair. You use that when you're giving me a specific coordinate like 1, 2. If you're just going to list for me a bunch of numbers, you want to put it in the curly bracket. Okay? So if I want to list my domain, I literally just list all my x values. Just the x values. I don't care about the y's. So it's going to be 1, -4. Now here's something interesting. I have 1 again. It's already in my list though. If you're telling me your favorite pizza toppings, do you have to say pepperoni twice? No, of course not. You would just list it the one time. So you don't need to list 1 again. You already have it. So there would be my domain. Go ahead and do the same thing for the range. Remember that range is just the y values. Tell me what you wrote. Pablo, go ahead.
307.
Yeah, 307. Are you wrong if you put this 3 in again? No, but it doesn't really make sense, right? You're not going to say, I like pepperoni, mushrooms, and pepperoni, right? You wouldn't say that. You would just list it the one time. So same thing here. It doesn't make sense to put there. It's not wrong, but why would you do that? So that's pretty much it. So if you look at this worksheet, they have, instead of writing it like we did, domain with the curly brackets and listing the numbers and then range, they have you just listing it in the chart. So for this particular one, my x values are -3, -2, 1, 3, and 5. So there, x values, same thing as domain. And then I would do the same thing for the y's. 1, oh wait, hold on. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I misread this. I'm sorry. You're just supposed to put this in the chart. So -3, 1, there it is, -3, 1, -2, 0. I don't know why they want you to do that. And then you're supposed to give me the domain and range. So then here, if you just want to put D and then give me the domain and R and give me the range. This one didn't have any repeats, so you would have to put them all. Does that make sense? And then if you just take a look at number 5, they have it going the other way. They put the dots, and they want you to write what those dots are. So this dot, for example, is at -4, 2. So you would just list which dots came from where. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, so your first homework assignment. Please finish 6-1. We have about a minute left. What's today's date again? 27?